So you're trying to figure out what the difference is between a 4-way and an 8-way arcade stick? Well, stick around and I'll explain it. Well, welcome back to the Underground Arcade. My name is Bronson and I'm on a quest to build a big arcade here in the shed I'm sitting in. And when you first start getting into arcade machines like I have been recently, you'll see a lot online about 4-way versus 8-way joysticks. So on the bottom of most arcade sticks, you're going to find 4 switches. And those switches register the inputs you put in on the joystick. So if you move this up in a single direction, you will engage one of those switches, right? And that'll send a signal to your game. You know, if you move it down, you'll engage the opposite one. When you move your stick diagonally, you will actually engage 2 switches, and that will let the game know you've put a diagonal input in. So almost like think of a compass, right? You got your 4 switches, north, east, south, west, and then you've got northeast, right, on the diagonal. So then both the north and the east switches are registering that input. So you're probably thinking to yourself, why does that matter? Why do I care how this works? You know, I plug it in, I play games, who cares? The thing is that some games, especially the older games, will only actually register the 4 main inputs. They will only register left, right, up and down. They won't register diagonal inputs. So these are games like Galaga, Space Invaders, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Frogger, Burger Time. Like all these old school games only register the main 4 ways of input. So if you were playing Donkey Kong and you accidentally pushed your stick diagonally, there's a chance it may not register that input. So a lot of people put their sticks in a mode that favors the 4 main inputs, the 4-way input. And they do that just to make the games feel more authentic, but also to register properly. You have more fun and it's a bit easier to play those games, you know, if they're in a 4-way mode versus an 8-way mode. So to achieve that, we have these things here called Restrictor Gates, these little plastic things that clip onto the bottom, and they help sort of guide or dictate the movement that our stick can actually do. I'm a bit embarrassed to say when I first built this machine, I realized watching some old footage, I wired up my 2 arcade sticks and one of them doesn't even have a restrictor gate on it. I didn't even know what they did. I think, I'll try and put a shot in here, but I was watching some old footage and I didn't even realize what they were. I think I still need to fix it. One's got one and one doesn't. So these little gates can actually be adjusted and you'll see a whole lot of different types online. You have like square gates, you have gates like this where it's square with rounded edges. And what you can do with a lot of them is you can actually adjust them. So my little ones here have these are Sanwa gates, restrictor plates. They have the little insert that clips out and you can actually rotate that to a different position to favor your main 4 inputs rather than your diagonals. Some restrictor gates you can buy will actually stop you from adding diagonal movements. The cool thing about these Sanwa gates is that you can rotate them so that they favor the main 4 inputs, but they don't actually stop you from putting a diagonal input in. So if you don't want to swap them over, you know, or you want to be able to play a variety of sort of old games and new games on a machine like this, you could put them in a mode where it just favors those 4 directions, but still allows you to do the diagonal inputs, if that makes sense. If you want to go really hard out, you can actually buy gates, square gates, that will stop all diagonal movement. I actually was talking to a guy who built a rather cool machine in an old cabinet, and he was showing me that he actually put a little servo in that slid the gate across. So some gates you can slide from 4-way to 8-way, and he had a little button on his cabinet, flicked a little switch, and these 2 servos changed the joystick, like slid the little restrictor gate over and changed it from 4-way to 8-way so you could be really authentic, which is quite cool. For most of, you know, people like myself that just want to play some of the old games and we're not super precise, we're not trying to win, you know, or get to the end screen on Donkey Kong or anything like that, having it in a mode where it favors 4 ways is probably fine. So a round gate, or a square gate with round edges is probably okay. Well, hopefully that helped answer some of your questions. If you've got more, please fire them away in the comments below. Like I said up the top, I am aiming to build an arcade in my shed. And so this channel is going to be a lot of like building cabinets like this, trying to get old cabinets going. I'd love to get into pinball machines. And we're also going to do a load of arcade tips and tricks like this video here. So if that interests you, hit that subscribe button below. I'll see you in the next video.